Hey Christian, this is Joel. It's sure good to see you for this lesson. Here's the big deal that we did yesterday. You see how your stance is more narrow, but the main thing was get that ball in a much more conventional position in your stance, so it's up there off the inside of your left heel for the driver, so that now at impact you're much more behind the ball instead of over here on the old gold on our left, right? You had about 50% of your body in front of the ball. And so I'm saying that's the main reason that those drivers were kind of low, and you would tend to have trouble hooking it because it's so far back in your stance. It should go to your right, but you've had to do things with your swing to really shut the face throughout to get it to draw back, and now if you start doing that too much, you get too much hook. So that's a much more conventional setup over here on our right on the new blue. And we saw the immediate improvement in the ball flight there, where you started hitting that driver high like you want to. That was beautiful. Even though the swing doesn't look that different. It's just where you were relative to the ball in your setup that was making it hard for you to get that driver airborne. That's beautiful there, man. And likewise with the iron, you and I both surmised that if you put that ball in a more normal spot in your stance, the way the tour players tend to have it nowadays, instead of so far back in your stance, you and I both thought you would hit it left, but you reacted to it in such a manner where you just started hitting it straighter and higher with less hook. So that was neat. And again, the swing didn't change that much. You see over here on our left, you have about 90% of your body in front of the ball at impact, whereas over here on our right now, at least you have about 50% of your body behind the ball instead of 10% like you did over here on the old gold on the left, simply by changing the ball position. That's a better look there at the top. You're about 80 or 90% behind the ball at the top over here on the new blue, whereas before you were only about 60% behind the ball. And so now as you shift forward, you're going to be even more in front of it, obviously, on the old gold. And the head down, like I said, is not as relevant to the ball flight. We sure learned that yesterday. The head down thing on the downswing, which is unlike the tour players, is different than the tour players, but that sure didn't stop you from hitting it so doggone straight yesterday, man. With that head down, the ball position getting better, and you being so good to react to it in a normal, conventional way caused you to get some great ball flights there yesterday, man. That is fantastic. And remember here, this also wasn't relevant. Right there, how shut your face is at the top, you know, compared to what you see with most of the tour players. Remember his, you know, that face for him at the top is the leading edge of the driver is parallel to his left arm, parallel to the plane line, the original shaft plane line pretty much. Much different than what we're seeing for yours, where it's so horizontal to the ground. But we didn't even fool with that yesterday, and you started getting great ball flights. There's a beautiful path of your downswing there, buddy. And again, through the top of your left shoulder, parallel to the plane line, is about where the tour players have the shaft, and yours is closed about as much as theirs through impact. But it started much more closed from the top compared to them. But again, we didn't even fool with that yesterday, and already you started getting much better ball flights right away. And there's the iron from down the line. Again, we'll see that you're on that plane line beautifully. Through the top of your left shoulder, parallel to the plane line. So a lot of good things going on with your swing, Christian. There are other things that are wrong with it that we didn't even begin to touch on yesterday. But I'm just wanting to do things that are relevant to the ball flight for you right now, man. And that was immediately relevant to the ball flight, created much better ball flights simply by improving your ball position. So that's the good look over here on the new blue. Beautiful work there, Christian. You see how yesterday we didn't talk about the club at all, the club fitting at all. Just like when we did the club fitting a week or two ago, we didn't talk about the swing at all. That's a big part of golf success, is learning how to just do one thing at a time and have to ignore all the other parts of your game while you just work on one thing at a time. Thanks, man. I hope to see you soon so we can work on that short game stuff maybe in the next week or so. Thanks so much. You can always contact me right there, 729-7073, or this email right here, Christian. Thanks again. Take care.
Hi, this is Joel. I'm here at Dr. Todd Elworth's office. He's one of the best chiropractors in the region. He's a TPI certified golf fitness professional, and I really want you to know about him because he can help you a lot with your golf fitness, just as he's helped my young student Taylor here in the last year or so.
And how we met, Taylor came into my office with back pain. What we took him through is numerous screens to find out why he had the back pain. I don't only treat back pain, but my second goal is to find out exactly why he has this problem. So we analyzed him, we find out he had some certain weaknesses, we're putting on some strengthening exercises, and he's doing very well.
He's done great. He's had very little back pain, and that's mainly because he injured himself working too hard at the golf course. So he's done his exercises, he's felt great. I'm very, very thankful that Todd's been able to help Taylor in this great way. And I want him to help you too if you have any questions at all about your golf fitness.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is Joel Suggs. I sure enjoyed meeting you down at the Cincinnati Golf Show this weekend and showing you your swing on the 2D equipment that I have. And so I want to take about 2 or 3 minutes to just show you around Meadowlinks. This is the studio I use in the winter for all my students. You see there's the down-the-line camera angle for our 2D equipment. And then we have the face-on camera angle also. And then what we also have here is 3D equipment to where I can show you your swing from 6 different camera angles with this 3D equipment. And we can get your swing from down to the 1/120th of a second in terms of exactly what your hips, shoulders, and hands are doing in the swing. And then also, I have the most realistic hitting curve I've ever seen from puttersedge.com. So when you hit your full shots, it feels as realistic as possible. And then I have 3 different green speeds for you to practice your putting. 9.5 on the step meter, 10.5 on the step meter, and 12.5 on the step meter. That's benefited my students tremendously. And then also I have a lot of learning aids like this Smart Stick. You can see the rest of those learning aids over here in my bag that we can work on to help you learn the certain fields in your golf swing that you and I both want. And then also I help my students a lot with their equipment through the winter. This is a frequency analyzer where we twang your club and it gives us a reading here. And then also we plot your whole set, each club on these lines to see if the set is really matched or not. Quite often they aren't, and it helps my students tremendously when they find out what clubs are the offending clubs. And then if we get tired of being indoors and we want to go outdoors and hit some, we can do that. It's my daughter. Ellie, good to see you. I haven't seen her in weeks. No wonder you've been gone, Ellie. You've been out here playing in the snow all this time. But this is our natural turf area. This is closed until April, as you can see. But it's a fantastic area where we can step outside and hit some balls and get some real ball flight. Or, if we get pretty satisfied and things are looking better on the video here, we're kind of cooped up inside and want to go outside, we can step on out and hit balls and see real ball flight for about 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, however long you and I can stand the cold, out into the air, and we see them land at these different flags. I have a yardage book for this driving range. It's the first one I've ever seen in my life where we know exactly what it is with the front, back, and middle of each green. And again, the covered area here is heated, so we stay out there for about 5, 10, 15 minutes, like I said. It enables us to see some ball flight, and then we get satisfied that things are looking the way we want, and we come back inside, take off our coat, and look again at the video equipment to see how your swing's looking, to make sure that you understand it. And then notice too, my exercise ball up top here, and then also, so I help my students a lot with their fitness through the winter, and then I will help you also with your sports psychology, with your golf psychology from the golfpsych.com people down in Texas. That's helped my students tremendously a lot over the years too. So again, I sure enjoyed meeting you down at the Cincinnati Golf Show this weekend. I look forward to seeing you again out here this summer at Meadowlinks, or even right now in the winter. I have a lot of people that work on their games with me right through the winter. Check out more information about the things I do to help you at joelsuggs.com. Take care.